Shadow Work, written and published by Life. Shadow work is a brave journey to learn about ourselves. It helps us see the hidden parts of our mind that we often ignore or keep in the dark. It's a deep look into who we are, where we face our fears, insecurities, and hidden feelings that quietly influence our lives. This process can be challenging, but for those willing to take it on, shadow work provides a way to become whole, true to oneself, and experience significant personal growth. The idea of the shadow comes from Carl Jung, a famous Swiss psychiatrist. He understood that inside each person there is a mix of both light and dark elements. Our shadow includes everything we consider unacceptable, shameful, or unworthy, the parts of ourselves that we have learned to hide from others and sometimes even from ourselves. The hidden parts of our mind don't just go away. They have a strong impact on how we think, act, and connect with others, often in ways we may not realize. Shadow work encourages us to explore these hidden parts of ourselves, recognizing and accepting all aspects of who we are. It's about getting back the parts of ourselves that we've lost and accepting our complete selves, with all the messiness and beauty that comes with it. This work isn't about getting rid of our shadow, as it is a key part of our identity. Instead, it's about becoming aware of it, understanding where it comes from, and finding ways to use its energy positively and constructively. Shadow work can change your life by helping you break free from the hidden patterns and limits you place on yourself that keep you from moving forward. As we start to explore our minds, we find a source of hidden potential, creativity, and personal strength. The parts of ourselves that we have often pushed away or been afraid of can actually lead us to our biggest strengths and deepest understandings. Think about the energy we use to keep our shadow away, the ongoing watchfulness needed to uphold our carefully built image, the tiring work of denying or hiding parts of ourselves. Shadow work provides an alternative way, focusing on acceptance and bringing things together. When we accept who we truly are, we unlock a lot of energy and liveliness. We enter a state of flow, where life feels easier and becomes a true reflection of who we are. This inner work affects all parts of our lives. We strengthen our relationships by being more genuine and open with each other. We thrive in our creative efforts as we explore the deep, uncharted areas of our mind. We understand our purpose better when we connect with our true desires and values, instead of following what others or society expects from us. Lesson 1. Getting to know the shadow, the aspects of yourself that you overlook. Everyone has a shadow side, which is a part of us that we hide from others and sometimes even from ourselves. This shadow includes parts of our personality that we consider unacceptable, shameful, or unworthy. It's the mix of traits, desires, and urges that we've learned to hold back, either because of society's influence or our own experiences. The idea of the shadow was first brought up by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. He thought that the shadow is an important part of our mind. It's not bad. Instead, it's a place for our biggest fears and our greatest possibilities. The shadow contains the keys to our hidden creativity, passion, and strength. Why do we overlook these aspects of ourselves? As children, we start to adjust to our surroundings and blend in with our families and the community. We learn what is okay and what isn't, which actions get praise and which ones face consequences. During socialization, we start to suppress parts of our personality that don't match these expectations. Imagine a child who is full of energy and very vocal. If they are often told to be quiet and not to express themselves so openly, they may begin to link their natural excitement with feelings of shame or disapproval. As time goes on, that lively energy becomes part of their shadow, tucked away but still affecting their actions and feelings in small ways. The shadow also includes more than just negative traits. We push aside positive qualities when we think we don't deserve them, or when they clash with how we see ourselves. A person who thinks they are weak may ignore their inner strength and find it hard to recognize or use it completely. Not paying attention to our shadow has consequences. When we ignore parts of ourselves, we use a lot of energy to keep them hidden. This ongoing internal conflict takes away our energy, making it harder for us to grow, be creative, and express ourselves truly. It's similar to keeping a beach ball submerged in water. It takes ongoing effort, and the ball will always want to float back up. The parts of ourselves that we overlook don't just go away. They show up in our lives, often in harmful or unhelpful ways. When anger is held back, it can show up as passive, aggressive actions. Not being able to express creativity can make someone feel unfulfilled and restless. Knowing our shadow is important because it is essential for our completeness. When we start to recognize and include these overlooked parts of ourselves, we access a source of energy and potential. It's like letting a beach ball rise to the surface. Suddenly, we have all this energy that was once used to keep it underwater. Understanding our shadow can be a bit uncomfortable at times. We need to examine parts of ourselves that we have overlooked or refused to acknowledge for a long time. It involves facing our fears, insecurities, and the parts of ourselves that we don't like. This discomfort can lead to important personal growth and better self-awareness. When we begin to look at our shadow, we may find that some traits we've ignored are really strengths hidden beneath the surface. The sensitivity we have tried to conceal could be the reason for strong empathy and intuition. The anger we've held back can help us be more assertive and set boundaries. Knowing our shadow helps us be kinder to ourselves and to others. When we see that everyone has a darker side, we start to judge less and accept more. The traits we find annoying in others often mirror the parts of ourselves that we don't accept. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in what we are rather than what we desire. Ignoring parts of ourselves leads to inner conflict and disharmony, which shows up in our outside world. When we understand and accept our shadow, we bring our inner and outer worlds into harmony. This helps us attract experiences that match our true, complete self. This integration process is not about giving in to every urge or expressing our hidden sides. It's about recognizing these parts of ourselves, knowing where they come from and why they exist, and discovering positive ways to express and direct their energy. As we start this journey of shadow work, it's essential to approach it with an open mind and kindness. Our shadow was created to keep us safe and help us adjust to our surroundings. Some of these adaptations might not help us anymore, but they were created to keep us safe. Lesson 2. Why overlooking your shadow hinders success. In our quest for success and happiness, we frequently seek out external accomplishments, material things, and the validation of others. We show the best parts of ourselves to others, while trying to hide the qualities we think are not so great. This is where we meet the shadow, the parts of ourselves that we've hidden away, thinking they will go away if we just ignore them for a while. But the reality is that many of us find it hard to accept. Just ignoring your shadow won't make it disappear. Instead, it turns into a strong obstacle that hinders your efforts and prevents you from achieving real success and satisfaction. The shadow isn't a mysterious idea. It's an essential aspect of human psychology that Carl Jung studied in detail. It shows parts of ourselves that we've pushed away, hidden, or ignored, usually because they don't match how we want to see ourselves or what society expects. Imagine your shadow as a playful child, always looking for some attention. The harder you try to overlook it, the more noticeable and bothersome it gets. It shows up in surprising ways, like self-sabotage, sudden mood changes, or a lingering sense of emptiness even after reaching your goals. Your shadow has a lot of power, and if you ignore it, you're letting that power work against you instead of helping you. Think about this. Have you ever been close to achieving something great, only to accidentally ruin it right at the end? Maybe you've reached a goal you've wanted for a long time, but now you feel oddly unsatisfied or even more anxious than you did before? These are common signs of your shadow being active. Ignoring our shadow leads to an internal struggle that takes away our energy and distracts us from what we truly want and can achieve. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in what we pay attention to, and it's not only about our conscious thoughts and intentions. The subconscious mind, where the shadow exists, is important in shaping our reality. If you have fears, insecurities, or negative beliefs that you don't recognize, you might attract situations that highlight these hidden parts of yourself. It's like trying to sail a boat with an anchor pulling you back. No matter how hard you row, you won't get to where you want to go. Also, not acknowledging your shadow can make you seem inauthentic, and others might pick up on that feeling, even if they can't explain it. Not being genuine can hurt your relationships, whether they are personal or work-related. People are attracted to those who are real and know themselves well, accepting every part of who they are. When you always try to hide parts of yourself, you build a wall that stops you from forming deep, meaningful connections. These connections are essential for real success and happiness. Your shadow reveals your greatest strengths and unique gifts. The traits we dislike in ourselves can actually be strong advantages when we understand and accept them. If a person holds back their anger, they might be missing out on the passion and confidence required to stand up for themselves and others. When you ignore your shadow, you miss out on a source of potential and creativity. Success is not only about reaching outside goals. It's about becoming complete and bringing together all parts of yourself into a true and unified self. Ignoring your shadow means you are turning away from a part of yourself. This can lead to inner conflict and problems in your life. Self-rejection is a way of holding yourself back. It's a hidden message that suggests you don't deserve success or happiness. To reach your full potential and find lasting success, you need to be ready to explore the deeper parts of yourself. This does not mean engaging in bad behaviors or accepting harmful qualities. It's about recognizing these aspects, knowing where they come from, and discovering healthy ways to express or change them. Your shadow is not your enemy. It's a part of you that needs to be understood and accepted, not pushed away. Facing and accepting your shadow can be tough. You need bravery, truthfulness, and the readiness to face difficult realities about yourself. The benefits are countless. When you start to recognize and engage with your shadow, you'll discover a feeling of inner calm and true self that nothing outside of you can give. You will discover new sources of creativity and strength within yourself. Your relationships will grow stronger as you become more authentic and aware of yourself. As you bring your shadow into harmony, you'll notice that the law of attraction starts to work more effectively for you. Your energy will be focused and unified. Your whole self will be in harmony, clearly showing the universe what you really want. You will naturally draw in opportunities and relationships that match who you truly are. Success is not a final stop. It's an ongoing process of growth and learning about yourself. When you recognize and engage with your shadow, you're not only clearing obstacles to success, you're reshaping your own definition of success. You are shifting away from seeking approval from others and focusing on material success. Instead, you are finding a more meaningful sense of achievement based on understanding yourself, being true to who you are, and growing personally. When you feel stuck, frustrated, or like nothing is going right despite your hard work, take a moment to look within yourself. What aspects of yourself have you been overlooking or pushing away? What worries or doubts are hiding in the background, holding you back from success? When you explore these hidden parts of yourself, you start the process of shadow work. This journey can lead to success and a more genuine way of living in the world. Accept your shadow as it contains the secrets to your highest potential. In the interplay of light and shadow, you will discover your true strength, opening up paths to success that you didn't even realize were there. The journey might be tough at times, but it brings great rewards. Your shadow is not against you. It's the part that helps make you whole, ready to finish the picture that is you. Lesson 3. Confronting your biggest fears and doubts. Doing shadow work takes us to face our biggest fears and insecurities. It's a journey that takes bravery, as it asks us to explore the hidden parts of our mind, where we have tucked away feelings or memories that are too painful or shameful to face. By confronting these aspects, we discover our best opportunities for growth and change. Fear is a normal feeling that humans experience, and it has helped us survive and adapt over time. It has protected us from physical threats and helped us avoid possible dangers. In today's world, many of our fears are not connected to immediate physical dangers anymore. Instead, they have turned into mental blocks that prevent us from living our lives to the fullest and being true to ourselves. These fears often show up as insecurities, strong doubts about our value, skills, or role in life. They speak to us when we feel weak, suggesting that we aren't good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough. They hold us back, stopping us from taking chances, chasing our dreams, or connecting with others. What if these fears and insecurities were actually trying to tell us something important? What if they were trying to reveal the parts of us that need healing and coming together? This is the viewpoint that shadow work encourages us to take on. When we start to confront our fears and insecurities, we often discover that they come from past experiences or beliefs we've taken in. Maybe we faced tough criticism as kids, and now we worry about failing. We might have faced rejection, making it hard for us to build close relationships. We may have learned that some feelings or characteristics are not okay, which can cause us to hide those parts of ourselves. The first step in dealing with these fears is to recognize them without being critical. This needs you to be aware of yourself and honest, which might feel a bit uneasy at the beginning. We need to be open to examining ourselves honestly, recognizing both our strengths and our weaknesses. This means not focusing on our flaws or shortcomings, but instead looking at them with curiosity and kindness. When we face our fears and insecurities, we start to understand them better. They are not fixed truths about who we are, but rather stories we've created in our minds. Just like any story, they can be changed. This is how the law of attraction works. What we think and believe influences our reality, bringing us experiences that match our expectations. If we think we don't deserve love, we might unknowingly drive away chances to connect with others. If we believe we can't succeed, we'll undermine our attempts before we even start. By confronting our fears and insecurities directly, we can start to alter these deep-seated beliefs. We can decide to view ourselves as valuable, able, and deserving of all the good things life brings. Changing how you see things takes time. It's a journey that needs patience and determination. Each small step we take to face our fears helps us grow our confidence and strength. A strong way to deal with fears and insecurities is to talk to them. Think of your fear as if it were a different being and talk to it. Inquire about its purpose and what it aims to shield you from. Hear what it has to say without judging. Your fears are often rooted in old information or misunderstandings about yourself and the world around you. One way to handle your fears is to slowly introduce yourself to what makes you anxious. If you're nervous about speaking in front of others, begin by sharing your thoughts in smaller groups. If you're worried about being rejected, try to put yourself in low-pressure situations. As you go through different experiences, you'll notice that your fears become less powerful. Confronting your fears doesn't mean you won't feel scared anymore. Fear is a normal part of life, and it can sometimes help us find our way. The aim is not to get rid of fear completely, but to build a better connection with it. View it as information instead of a command, seeing it as a chance to grow rather than a reason to pull back. When you confront your fears and insecurities, you might notice that they are linked to other parts of your hidden self. Your fear of failure might come from thinking you don't deserve to succeed. Your feelings of insecurity in relationships could be linked to unresolved anger or resentment. Shadow work is a holistic process because when you focus on one area, you often discover healing in other areas too. Confronting your biggest fears and insecurities can be challenging. Sometimes you might feel stressed or want to go back to what feels safe and easy. During these times, be kind to yourself. Remember that you are doing valuable and brave work. Every little step you take is still a step forward. As you move forward on this journey, you may notice that your fears and insecurities start to fade away. You will begin to feel more sure of yourself, more genuine and more vibrant. You will draw in experiences and relationships that match who you really are instead of what you are afraid of. Lesson 4. Finding triggers to help you heal. In shadow work, one of the most helpful tools we have is recognizing and understanding our triggers. These emotional challenges, often not visible at first, are important for achieving deep healing and personal development. Triggers are not just annoying or uncomfortable. They help us notice the parts of ourselves that need attention and care. To start this healing journey, we need to understand that triggers don't happen by chance. They come from our past experiences, traumas, and feelings that we haven't dealt with yet. Whenever we experience a sudden rush of anger, a deep sadness, or a wave of anxiety, we have a chance to learn something valuable, a chance to explore our minds, to find the hidden hurts that we've kept inside, and to finally deal with them in a caring and understanding way. The law of attraction explains that we bring into our lives what we pay attention to, whether we realize it or not. When we have unresolved triggers, we unknowingly send out signals that attract situations and people who will bring these triggers to the surface. The universe seems to keep showing us our unresolved issues repeatedly until we notice and take action to address them. How can we start identifying and dealing with our triggers? Start by becoming aware. We need to pay close attention to our feelings, noticing the small changes in our mood, the tightness in our chest, and the clenching of our jaw. These physical feelings are usually the first signs that a trigger has been set off. When we pay attention to our bodies and learn to notice these signals, we build a base for further exploration. After we find a trigger, the next step is to look at it with curiosity instead of judgment. It's common to criticize ourselves for feeling triggered, viewing it as a weakness or flaw. This method just hides the trigger more, making the patterns we want to change even stronger. We should develop a feeling of gentle curiosity. What message is this trigger conveying to me? Which part of me needs attention and healing? As we explore this topic further, we often discover that our triggers relate to fundamental beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. A comment from a coworker might bring up feelings of not being good enough, which could come from experiences in childhood. Sometimes, when a partner asks for space, It can trigger fears of being abandoned that come from past experiences with attachment. When we look back at what triggers us, we can understand the beliefs and experiences that influence how we see the world. This process of exploring and understanding can be challenging. Facing the pain and discomfort that our triggers bring up takes bravery. By bravely confronting our fears, we start to take back our strength. Every trigger we find and address acts like a key, opening up a part of ourselves that has been stuck in cycles of reactivity and fear. As we move forward, we begin to see a change in how we relate to our triggers. What used to feel like strong emotional storms starts to lose its impact on us. We learn to stop when we feel triggered, take a breath, and decide how to respond instead of just reacting without thinking. The space we find between what happens and how we react is where we can truly be free. As we work on our triggers, we start to bring new experiences into our lives. The law of attraction helps us when we remove the energy blockages caused by our unresolved triggers. We experience better relationships, more satisfying work settings, and circumstances that help us grow instead of bringing up past hurts. This task isn't about getting rid of triggers completely. Feeling emotions in response to situations is a normal part of being human. The aim is to create a new connection with our triggers, focusing on awareness, kindness, and using them to promote growth and healing. As we move forward on this journey, we might discover that our triggers can teach us valuable lessons. Each one gives us a chance to understand ourselves better, to heal past hurts, and to become a more true and strong version of who we are. What used to feel heavy turns into a gift, a helpful guide leading us to completeness and unity. The wisdom traditions around the world have always understood how important it is to confront our darker sides for personal growth. In Jungian psychology, integrating the shadow is important for individuation, which is the path to becoming your true self. Buddhist teachings highlight the value of carefully noticing our reactions without becoming overwhelmed by them, which fits well with the process of recognizing and healing triggers. When we work on understanding ourselves and healing, we change our own lives and help others heal too. The work we do on ourselves affects everything around us, including our relationships, our communities, and the bigger systems we live in. When we confront our own triggers and engage in healing, we can become catalysts for change in a world that truly needs more awareness and kindness. Lesson 5. Identifying patterns that hold you back. In our lives, we often walk the same paths, make the same mistakes, and face the same challenges. These repeating patterns are not just random. They are habits that hold us back from stepping outside our comfort zones, even if those zones aren't really comfortable. Seeing these patterns is the first step to getting out of the cycle that holds us back, and it's an important part of shadow work. Our patterns are like hidden threads that are part of our everyday lives. They affect what we choose, how we connect with others, and how we respond to everything happening around us. Sometimes, these patterns are so small that we don't see them, going through life without thinking much. These unconscious behaviors are strong influences that can either help us reach our goals or hold us back, preventing us from making progress. To start noticing these patterns, we need to develop mindfulness and self-awareness. This involves observing our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without criticizing them. It's about looking at our own lives from the outside, like we're watching a character in a film. This separation helps us understand the overall situation and notice patterns in how we act. A good way to begin this process is by writing in a journal. Spend a few minutes each day writing about your experiences. Pay attention to what happened and how you felt and reacted. As time goes on, you may begin to see patterns. Maybe you often get defensive when getting feedback, or you regularly put off important tasks. These are the habits that are holding you back. As you start to recognize your patterns, you may see that they usually come from strong beliefs or fears you hold inside. Avoiding commitment in relationships may come from a fear of being left alone. A habit of overworking may be connected to the idea that your value depends on how much you produce. Knowing why we have certain patterns is important for changing them. Tackle this process with kindness and an open mind instead of judgment. These patterns took time to form. They are usually coping strategies we've built over many years or even decades. They had a role at one time, even if they don't have one for us now. Recognizing this can help us face change with compassion instead of criticism. As you recognize your patterns, you might begin to see triggers, certain situations or things that activate these patterns. A specific tone of voice might make you think of a critical parent, causing you to feel defensive. A deadline might trigger feelings of self-doubt and cause you to put things off. Noticing these triggers allows you to stop and pick a different reaction. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in what we pay attention to. If we keep thinking about what we can't do and our mistakes, we'll keep bringing in situations that support those thoughts. When we notice our patterns, we can begin to change our focus to growth and new opportunities. We can start to see new ways of living and acting, bringing in experiences that match our real wishes and abilities. A helpful way to change your habits is to picture your ideal self, the person you aspire to be, unburdened by your current behaviors. How would your ideal self handle situations that usually bring out your old habits? What new actions would they show? Imagine your ideal self and behave as if you are already that person. This can help you develop new, positive habits. Know that patterns often appear in connected networks. Changing one pattern could show or influence other patterns. As you focus on people pleasing, you may find that you also tend to avoid conflict. This connection is why shadow work is a continuous journey. As we uncover one layer, we frequently find more underneath. The aim isn't to get rid of all patterns. Some patterns can be beneficial and help us positively. The goal is to identify the patterns that limit us and to intentionally select new, more positive ways of living. This process of recognizing and making conscious choices is central to personal growth and change. As you get better at noticing your patterns, you will probably feel more in control. You will notice that you are not stuck with your habits and reactions. You can choose to act differently. Understanding this can feel freeing yet daunting, as it means that the power to change is entirely up to you. Take your time and be kind to yourself as you go through this process. Change takes time, and you might occasionally fall back into your old habits. This is normal and doesn't take away from the progress you've made. Whenever you notice a pattern in what you do, it's a chance to choose differently, even if you don't always get it right. As you begin to notice and change your habits, you might see changes in your relationships too. Some people in your life may not be open to your changes because your new behaviors alter the usual patterns of your relationships. This might be tough, but it's also a chance to grow and build relationships that help you as you change. Lesson 6. Understanding your shadow. Inside us, there is a hidden part that we have often ignored, denied, or forgotten. This realm is like our shadow. Instead of being our enemy, it actually contains the key to our greatest potential and deepest healing. As we go through life, we tend to show a version of ourselves that we think others will find acceptable, lovable, or admirable. However, in this process, we unintentionally overlook important parts of who we really are, pushing them into the background of our minds. The shadow isn't automatically dark or bad. It just holds everything we consider unworthy of the light. It contains our fears, insecurities, and perceived flaws, but it also keeps our untapped strengths, hidden talents, and unrealized dreams. When we accept our shadow, we start an important journey of understanding ourselves and bringing everything together, which can change many parts of our lives. Embracing your shadow means recognizing that it is a key part of your identity. It's understanding that the parts of yourself you've wanted to hide or change are not different from you. They are all part of the complete picture of who you are. Accepting this is the first step to loving yourself and gaining personal strength. When we push away our shadow, we use a lot of energy to keep it away. This resistance causes inner struggle, taking away our energy and preventing the abundance from flowing in our lives. When we look at our shadow with curiosity and kindness, we release this energy, helping us grow and achieve our goals. The law of attraction shows that we draw in what we are, not only what we desire. When we accept our shadow, we become more complete, genuine, and in tune with who we really are. This alignment sends a strong message to the universe, drawing in experiences and opportunities that match our true selves, instead of the image we try to present. Accepting your shadow doesn't mean engaging in bad habits or dwelling on past pain. It's about becoming aware of these hidden parts of yourself, knowing where they come from, and bringing them into your conscious mind. It's a change where something that used to be a problem turns into a source of strength and knowledge. Think about the hidden side of anger. Many people learn that anger is bad or harmful, so they suppress it, ignore it, or attempt to get rid of it. Anger, when recognized and directed properly, can be a strong tool for making changes and establishing boundaries. When we accept this part of ourselves, we take back our ability to stand up for ourselves and advocate for our beliefs. Consider the aspect of being vulnerable. In a world that values strength and toughness, we might conceal our gentler sides, viewing them as flaws. When we accept our vulnerability, we allow ourselves to form deeper connections, show more empathy, and build more genuine relationships. A flaw can turn into a way to connect and understand each other better. Facing your shadow takes bravery and kindness. It encourages you to face parts of yourself that you might have been avoiding for a long time. By doing this, you'll find that these aspects are not as scary or complicated as you thought. What we often see in the shadow are just hurt parts of ourselves, waiting to be recognized, healed, and brought together. When you start to accept your shadow, you might notice changes in your relationships. When we embrace every part of who we are, we become more open to accepting others. We know that everyone has a shadow, and this helps us feel for each other and strengthens our bonds. As we accept our hidden sides, we are less likely to blame others for our own traits, which helps us have clearer and more genuine interactions. In personal growth and manifestation, accepting your shadow can really make a difference. Many people find it hard to reach their goals or make their wishes come true because they might be unknowingly holding themselves back with hidden beliefs or actions. By recognizing these issues, we can tackle the main reasons for our self-sabotage and make sure our actions match what we really want. The shadow can be a source of our strongest creativity and passion. When we hold back parts of ourselves, we also hold back our special gifts and talents. When you accept your shadow, you might discover skills or interests you didn't realize you had, leading to new ways to express yourself and find satisfaction. Accepting your shadow is something you do continuously, not just once. It's a process of learning about yourself that goes on for your whole life. As you change and develop, new parts of your shadow might become visible, providing new chances for integration and growth. Start by being curious to embrace your shadow. Rather than judging or attempting to change the aspects of yourself that you find unacceptable, try to look at them with an open mind. Consider what these aspects could be communicating to you. What needs or worries are they sharing? What knowledge could they possess? Be kind to yourself as you look into your shadow. Be as kind and understanding to yourself as you would be to a close friend. Understand that every part of you, including those hidden away, formed to help or protect you. Appreciate their efforts while you find better ways to include them. When you accept your shadow, you might notice that old habits start to change. Relationships that used to feel stuck might start to move more easily. Goals that once felt impossible might now seem within reach. You can now use the energy you use to spend on inner conflict to build the life you want. Embracing your shadow means reconnecting with who you truly are. You are fully yourself, just as you should be. Your shadow is not against you. It's an important part of who you are, ready to be recognized and accepted. When you accept all parts of yourself, you will feel a calm and genuine energy that comes from inside you. This will draw in experiences and relationships that match who you really are. Take a deep breath, find your courage, and face your shadow with acceptance. It is essential for your healing, your potential, and living your true life. Accept it and see how your world changes little by little. Lesson 7. Healing past hurts by recognizing hidden feelings. Inside us, we hold wounds that have influenced us in ways we might not completely understand. The hidden scars from our past experiences shape our thoughts, feelings, and actions, even after we may have forgotten the original pain. Shadow work helps us face our past wounds. It's not about feeling the pain again, but about recognizing and healing the hidden emotions that have been influencing our lives without us realizing it. Healing starts when we acknowledge what needs attention. We need to recognize the wounds we have, some of which might have been with us for so long that we no longer remember they are there. These wounds often show up as patterns in our lives, like ongoing relationship issues, constant feelings of not being good enough, or a strange sense of being prevented from reaching our true potential. By looking closely at these patterns, we can begin to follow them back to where they started, to the times when these hurts first happened. As we explore our inner selves, we might come across feelings that we've kept hidden or ignored for a long time. Anger, fear, shame, and grief are strong emotions that can feel intense when they first come to light. It's normal to want to look away and hide these feelings back in the shadows where they've been for a long time. By doing this, we miss out on the chance for real healing and growth. The law of attraction tells us that what we try to avoid tends to stick around, and this is also true for our buried feelings. When we recognize and accept these feelings, we start to reduce their hold on our subconscious mind. Acknowledgement is a powerful way to heal. By bringing attention to our hidden emotions, we acknowledge our experiences and respect the parts of ourselves that have been quietly bearing these burdens. This validation is an important part of healing. It helps us shift from denial or resistance to acceptance and compassion. When we recognize these hidden feelings, we might discover that they are connected to the beliefs we have about ourselves and our surroundings. These beliefs, which often come from times of pain or weakness, can hold us back and keep us stuck in patterns of self-destruction. By looking at these beliefs with what we know now, we can start to question and change them. This process of asking questions and changing our perspective is not about ignoring our past experiences, but about deciding how we understand and incorporate them into our current lives. Healing old wounds through shadow work can be challenging and uncomfortable at times. It takes bravery to confront the parts of ourselves that we have avoided or turned away from for a long time. It is by facing our challenges that we discover real freedom. When we express our hidden emotions, we free the energy that was trapped by keeping them inside. This new energy is now available to us, helping us grow and change. Forgiveness is an important part of healing. This means not just forgiving those who have hurt us, but also forgiving ourselves. Forgiving ourselves can be really tough. It's about facing how we've caused our own pain by judging and criticizing ourselves. When we practice self-compassion and understanding, we create a supportive inner space where our wounds can start to heal. While we work on healing, we might see changes in our outside world too. The law of attraction shows us that what we feel inside is mirrored in what happens around us. When we work on healing our inner wounds and let go of old habits, we might notice that our relationships get better, new chances come our way, and problems we've faced for a long time start to fade away. This isn't magic. It's simply the outcome of bringing our conscious and unconscious minds together, helping us live more authentically and with greater strength. The wisdom traditions around the world have always understood how important it is to recognize and accept our shadow sides. By doing this, we take back parts of ourselves that we have ignored, tapping into a source of creativity, strength, and resilience that we might not have realized we had. This integration creates a feeling of completeness and harmony, as we stop wasting energy battling with ourselves. As we move forward in healing and coming together, it's key to this is a continuous journey. Our shadows are not things to fight against or get rid of, but parts of ourselves that we should keep exploring and understanding. When we recognize and address a hidden emotion, we make more room inside ourselves for love, joy, and happiness. Working on your inner self and healing past hurts is really about finding out who you are and learning to love yourself. By confronting our deepest pains and fears, we discover our greatest strengths and potentials. By recognizing and addressing our hidden emotions, we can break free from the patterns that limit us, allowing for new opportunities and a more genuine expression of our true selves. By going through this process, we help ourselves heal and also support the healing of everyone around us. The work we do on ourselves affects the world around us, shaping how we connect with others and build relationships. When we become more complete and united, we naturally motivate and help others in their healing and growth journeys. Recognizing hidden feelings and healing past hurts can be challenging, but it brings great rewards. This journey helps you understand yourself better, build stronger relationships, and live a more satisfying life. As you move forward on this journey, each step you take towards healing brings you closer to your true, empowered self. Believe in the journey, be kind to yourself as you go, and understand that within your challenges is the secret to your biggest change. Lesson 8. Understanding self-compassion in shadow work. Inside ourselves, where hidden feelings and parts of us exist, there is a strong tool for change. Self-compassion. As we start the process of shadow work, we often come across parts of ourselves that we've ignored, feared, or avoided for a long time. These hidden parts of our mind can be scary and hard to confront. In these challenging moments, self-compassion is our best support. Self-compassion is different from feeling sorry for yourself, and it's not about giving in to every desire. It's a kind gesture towards ourselves, acknowledging that we deserve love and understanding, even when times are tough. When we look at our shadow with kindness, we make a safe place for understanding and healing. We recognize that our flaws, fears, and what we see as shortcomings do not make us unworthy. They are simply part of being human. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in what we concentrate on, what we believe in, and what we experience emotionally. When we practice self-compassion during our shadow work, we change our inner talk from being critical to being kind and understanding. This change in energy spreads out, bringing more kindness, understanding, and healing into our lives. Think about the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden. It might be anger that you think is wrong, desire that you see as embarrassing, or vulnerability that you view as a flaw. Now, think about looking at these parts of yourself not with judgment, but with the same kindness you would show to a close friend who is hurting. This is the core idea of being kind to yourself during shadow work. When we explore our inner selves, we often find old wounds from our past, experiences that have influenced how we see ourselves and the world around us. These wounds can be sensitive when touched, bringing up feelings of shame, guilt, or unworthiness. In these moments, self-compassion is not just helpful, it is necessary. When we show kindness to our hurt parts, we set the stage for real healing to happen. Carl Jung, a philosopher, created the term shadow and recognized how important it is to bring together all parts of ourselves. He understood that our shadow holds both the negative traits we see in ourselves and the potential we have not yet realized. When we look at our shadow with kindness, we allow ourselves to take back this potential and become more complete and true versions of who we are. When you do shadow work, self-compassion can be practiced like this. When you find a belief or behavior you've been avoiding, take a moment to stop. Breathe in deeply. Put your hand on your heart if it feels good. Recognize the discomfort or pain you are experiencing. Next, talk to yourself like you would to someone you care about deeply, like a child or a close friend. It's all right. This is tough, but what you're doing matters. You deserve love and understanding, even with this part of you. This act of being kind to yourself does something amazing. It helps us feel safe inside, letting us look at our shadow without being afraid of rejecting ourselves. From this safe space, we can start to learn about where our shadow aspects come from, see how they've helped us before, and think about how we can bring them into our lives in a healthier way as we move ahead. Self-compassion plays a crucial role in shadow work and goes beyond just helping ourselves heal. When we accept every part of ourselves with kindness, we naturally share that same compassion with others. We understand that just like we have our own shadows, the people around us have theirs too. When we understand each other better, it helps us feel more connected and caring in our relationships, which can lead to positive changes in our communities. Additionally, being kind to yourself during shadow work fits well with the ideas of wealth and abundance. When we are kind and understanding to ourselves, we come from a place of emotional abundance instead of scarcity. This change in thinking allows us to welcome more positive experiences in every part of our lives, whether in our relationships, jobs, or money matters. Being kind to yourself during shadow work can be challenging. Our inner critic, which is often well established, might push back against this method. Some might say that we are being too lenient with ourselves and that we require tough self-criticism to get better. However, wisdom suggests a different perspective. Real growth and change happen when we understand and accept ourselves completely, not when we criticize ourselves. As you go through your shadow work journey, let self-compassion be with you all the time. When you face challenges, remember that this is also a normal part of the journey. Your shadow has been looking out for you in its own way, and it deserves your thanks and awareness as you try to bring it together with yourself. The aim of shadow work is not to get rid of parts of ourselves, but to bring them into our awareness, understand them, and incorporate them in ways that benefit us the most. Self-compassion helps us understand our flaws and challenges without fear or avoidance. When you face tough times and feel overwhelmed, take a moment to speak kindly to yourself. Recognize your bravery in taking on this task. By facing your shadow with kindness, you are healing yourself and helping others heal too. Self-compassion can really change the way we approach shadow work. It transforms a tough, critical experience into a path of discovering and appreciating oneself. It helps us see our deepest fears and insecurities not as things to fight against, but as parts of ourselves that need acceptance and understanding. As you continue with your shadow work, remember this: you deserve compassion, understanding, and love. Every part of you, including your shadow. When you show kindness to yourself, you set the stage for deep healing and change. You connect with the energy of love and acceptance, bringing more of these qualities into your life. Your shadow is not something to hide. It's an important part that makes your life more interesting and meaningful. Welcome it with kindness and see how your whole life changes, brightened by the glow of self-love and acceptance. Lesson 9. How shadow work helps relationships and self-love. Shadow work is a way to learn more about ourselves. It helps us improve our relationships and grow our ability to love ourselves more deeply. As we explore our minds, we find the parts of ourselves that we've ignored or refused to acknowledge. This process of recognizing and accepting ourselves not only changes us on the inside, but also affects every interaction and connection we have in our lives. When we start to accept our shadow, we begin to understand ourselves better. We understand that we are more than just our neat and tidy appearances. We also include the parts of ourselves that we think are not good enough or lovable. Accepting yourself is the basis for real self-love. It's simple to appreciate the parts of ourselves that are successful, kind, or attractive. Real self-love happens when we can view our flaws, mistakes, and darker impulses with kindness and understanding. As we grow in our self-love, something wonderful occurs in our relationships. We don't look for approval or fulfillment from others anymore because we've discovered it within ourselves. We build our connections from a sense of completeness instead of necessity. This change is clear. Our relationships now focus more on what we can offer rather than what we can receive. We're not looking to fill an empty space anymore. We're full and overflowing with what we have. As we face our own flaws, we also learn to accept the flaws of others. We understand that everyone has things about themselves they find difficult, parts they might feel embarrassed about or want to keep hidden. This understanding creates empathy and kindness. We tend to judge others less because we have experienced our own judgments and realized they were not fair. We recognize the human side of everyone, their challenges, and the beauty found in their flaws. This new understanding changes how we connect with each other. Conflicts that used to lead to arguments now turn into chances for better understanding. We can listen without getting defensive right away because we feel secure in ourselves. We can support others in their pain and struggles because we have learned to support ourselves. Shadow work can be very effective in romantic relationships. Many people start relationships looking for someone to make them feel complete. Through shadow work, we come to understand that wholeness is something we build inside ourselves. When two complete people unite, the relationship is not essential for happiness, but rather a lovely enhancement to their already satisfying lives. Additionally, our shadow often holds the same traits that draw us to other people. When we bring these parts of ourselves together, our relationships might feel more balanced. We are now recognizing our partners for who they truly are, without projecting our own desires or fears onto them. Shadow work helps us get away from unhealthy relationship habits. We often unknowingly bring patterns from our childhood or past experiences into our current relationships. When we become aware of these patterns through shadow work, we can make different choices. We can break free from the pattern of being drawn to partners who are not available or the habit of ruining good relationships because we are afraid of getting close. When we improve how we feel about ourselves, we also improve how we connect with the world around us. The law of attraction shows that we draw in what we are rather than just what we desire. When we take the time to understand and accept our hidden parts, we naturally draw in people and situations that show us our complete selves. We build a life that feels true and in harmony because we are no longer concealing parts of who we are. This doesn't mean that life is flawless or that relationships are without challenges. Shadow work focuses on building resilience and self-awareness to handle challenges effectively, rather than trying to remove them. We continue to encounter conflicts, misunderstandings, and times when we feel disconnected. Now, we have the tools to handle these situations calmly and wisely. In friendships, shadow work helps us be more true to ourselves. We don't fear judgment anymore because we've confronted our own inner critic. Being genuine attracts others. There's something special about someone who is true to themselves, willing to reveal both their strengths and their struggles. Our friendships grow stronger and more significant when we allow ourselves to be open and connect with each other. Our connection with society changes as we engage in shadow work. When we face our own prejudices, fears, and hidden biases, we become more aware and responsible members of society. We can approach complex social issues with a clear understanding instead of quick judgments. This helps us become better at making changes, allowing us to connect differences and discover shared interests. Shadow work can deeply change how we relate to the divine, no matter how we think of it. When we accept every part of ourselves, we see the specialness in both the good and the bad. Our completeness mirrors the completeness of the universe. This strong spiritual bond gives our relationships a sense of purpose and meaning. Shadow work is a continuous journey. As we explore our minds, we keep finding new parts of ourselves to bring together. As we move forward, our ability to love for ourselves and for others grows. We grow in patience, understanding, and compassion. We learn to embrace our struggles instead of running away from them. This dance brings us a fresh sense of freedom. We don't have to show a flawless image to everyone anymore. We can be disorganized, complicated, and sometimes inconsistent, just like any person. In our humanity, we discover our strongest bonds. We build connections based on honesty instead of falsehoods, on embracing each other rather than having demands. The real benefit of shadow work is not only better relationships, but also a completely new approach to how we connect with others, to ourselves, to others, and to the world. It's a journey that demands a lot from us, needing bravery, truthfulness, and determination. For those who choose to walk it, the benefits are countless. By accepting our shadow, we fully become ourselves, and this encourages others to do the same. This is how we build a world filled with real connections, true understanding, and endless love. Lesson 10. Writing in a journal to discover your thoughts and feelings. Writing is more powerful than fighting, and in shadow work, it serves as a helpful tool for understanding ourselves and making changes. Journaling is a personal dialogue with yourself, a special place where your hidden thoughts and feelings can come out and be understood. As you start this journey of self-discovery, writing is more than just noting down events or expressing feelings. It is a valuable practice that can help you understand your mind and uncover the hidden gems inside you. When you start journaling, you connect your conscious thoughts with the deeper parts of your mind that you may not often explore. This bridge helps share ideas, feelings, and insights that might otherwise stay hidden in our daily lives. Writing, whether with a pen or on a keyboard, starts a conversation with your inner self, allowing the hidden parts of your personality to come forward. When you start, release any expectations or judgments about what might come up. Your journal is a place where you can write freely, a safe space for sharing even the toughest truths without worrying about any repercussions. Let your writing be genuine, straightforward, and true to your feelings. In this genuine state, we can truly begin to reveal our hidden thoughts and feelings. Begin by writing whatever comes to your mind, allowing your thoughts to flow naturally without any corrections or changes. This method can go around your logical thinking and connect straight to your subconscious mind. You might find unexpected things coming up. Memories you forgot, feelings you've pushed away, or new understandings about behaviors that have been stopping you. Accept these insights, even if they are tough, because they are essential for your personal growth and change. As you continue with your journaling, you might see the same themes or feelings coming up often. These are indicators showing parts of your mind that need care and healing. Notice any pushback you experience while writing. Resistance usually means you're getting close to something important, a part of yourself that you have been avoiding or ignoring for a long time. Don't avoid this discomfort, embrace it. Think about what is causing the resistance and write about it, even if it seems hard or uneasy. Writing in a journal can be a helpful way to bring your wishes to life and connect with the law of attraction. When you write about your dreams and goals, you make them real and tangible. Speaking clearly helps you express what you want and communicates your desires to the universe about what you want to bring into your life. Be open about any doubts or fears you have when thinking about your goals. These are also important parts of your shadow that should be recognized and included. Think about using prompts to help with your journaling and explore more about your thoughts and feelings. Questions such as, what am I most afraid of? Or what part of myself do I find hardest to accept? Can help you learn a lot about yourself. Face tough feelings and challenging memories. Sometimes, the toughest situations can lead to the best chances for improvement and recovery. While you write in your journal, notice how your body feels and how your emotions react. Our bodies often know things that our minds haven't figured out yet. If you notice a tight feeling in your chest or a knot in your stomach while writing about a certain topic, pay attention to it. These physical signs can be helpful indicators, showing where more attention and healing may be needed. Journaling isn't only about finding issues or focusing on the negative parts of your mind. Using your journal for gratitude, self-kindness, and recognizing your strengths is very important. Recognize the progress you've achieved, the obstacles you've faced, and the special qualities you contribute to the world. This balanced method brings together both the positive and negative parts of your personality, resulting in more completeness and self-acceptance. When you start journaling regularly as part of your shadow work, you might notice that your entries start to develop their own character. You can begin talking to different parts of your personality. allowing those parts of yourself that have been quiet for a long time to express themselves. This can be a great way to understand your motivations, fears, and desires. Don't feel down if you don't see quick changes or major insights right away. Shadow work takes time, and the advantages of journaling build up as you go along. Believe in the journey and be kind to yourself as you go along. Every word you write helps you become more aware of yourself and grow as a person. At the end of each journaling session, pause to think about what you've written. Identify trends, observations, or topics that need more investigation. Think about what steps you could take after learning about the new information. The aim of shadow work is not only to learn about yourself, but also to bring together and change aspects of yourself. Writing in a journal to discover your thoughts and feelings is a meaningful way to show yourself love and bravery. You need to be ready to explore the unknown parts of yourself with kindness and understanding. As you keep practicing, you'll see that your journal turns into more than just a record of your thoughts. It becomes a special book, a guide to your growth, and proof of your journey towards completeness. After you finish journaling, take a moment to think and pay attention to your inner thoughts. They hold the knowledge of your true self, leading you to the life you are meant to have. Believe in this process. By addressing the darker parts of yourself, you can find the way to become your best self. Lesson 11. Easy meditation for connecting with your shadow. Inside each of us is a valuable resource, full of potential and deep understanding. This treasure represents our hidden self, the parts of us that we've set aside, overlooked, or kept hidden. Guided meditation helps us connect with a hidden part of ourselves, leading to personal growth and self-discovery. Meditation is widely recognized as a helpful way to reflect and connect with one's inner self. When used for shadow work, it serves as a gentle and effective way to shed light on the hidden parts of our mind. When we find a calm place and shut our eyes, we make a special space for this journey within ourselves. To connect with your shadow through meditation, start by creating a feeling of safety and openness. Your shadow is not against you. It is a part of you that needs to be recognized and accepted. As you start to relax your body and calm your mind, picture yourself in a safe bubble of white light. This light shows your true self, your natural knowledge, and the endless love from the universe. Breathe in deeply and slowly and let yourself relax more and more. As you breathe out, let go of any tension or resistance you might be feeling. Your body feels heavy, sinking into the surface below you. Your mind calms down, similar to a peaceful lake showing the sky above. Imagine you are at the border of a green forest. This forest shows your inner world, with familiar trails and areas yet to discover. When you walk onto the path into the woods, remember that you are starting a journey to learn more about yourself. The trees nearby share old stories, encouraging you to pay attention to the knowledge they possess. As you go further into the forest, you see the path getting less clear. The light coming through the trees gets softer, making the area feel mysterious. This is the point where your conscious mind connects with your subconscious. Pause to recognize any feelings of doubt or reluctance that might come up. These feelings are normal. They guide us to places where we can grow and heal. As you keep going, you find a clearing filled with gentle, soft light. A mirror stands in the middle of this open space. This mirror is special. It connects you to your shadow self. When you get closer, you might feel both curious and a bit nervous. Breathe deeply and remember that you are safe, supported, and able to handle whatever comes your way. Look into the mirror and see what it reflects. Initially, you might just notice your reflection, but if you keep looking, the image starts to move and transform. Gradually, parts of your hidden self begin to show up. These can show up as symbols, figures, or even aspects of yourself that you don't usually recognize. When you see these signs of your shadow, try not to judge or look away. Try to engage with them by being curious and kind. What do these parts of you want to tell you? What knowledge do they possess? What needs or wants have they been trying to show? Take some time to have a quiet conversation with your shadow. You might get insights from words, emotions, or a gut feeling. Believe in whatever arises, even if it seems illogical at first. The language of the shadow uses symbols and takes time to understand. As you keep talking, you might feel some discomfort or resistance coming up. This is usual and even anticipated. Our shadows often hold the parts of ourselves that we think are not good enough or acceptable. These aspects are looking for harmony, not control. They are here to support you and make you feel whole. Take a moment to show love and acceptance to these hidden parts of yourself. Picture welcoming them and letting them blend with your awareness. While doing this, you might feel a sense of relief, like a long-held tension is finally going away. This marks the start of integration, the process of transforming lead into gold in your mind. When your meditation is ending, spend a little time thinking about what you felt. What have you learned? What feelings have been brought up? How do you feel now compared to when you started this journey? Gently start to notice your physical surroundings again. Move your fingers and toes, breathe deeply, and when you feel ready, open your eyes. Your connection with your shadow self stays with you, even when you go back to your everyday routine. This guided meditation marks the start of your shadow work journey. Practicing regularly will help you understand better and bring together your shadow aspects more easily. As you keep working on this, you might see significant changes in your relationships, creativity, and overall feeling of completeness. Connecting with your shadow is about understanding and accepting all parts of yourself, not getting rid of them. It's about aligning all parts of yourself to create a more genuine and strong version of you. This process takes bravery, kindness, and determination, but the benefits are huge. As you go ahead, remember that your shadow holds not only your fears and insecurities, but also your greatest strengths and hidden potential. When you accept every part of who you are, you open the way to real growth and change in your life. Shadow work helps connect the different parts of who we are in life. It is the key that opens the treasure chest of our complete potential. By using guided meditation and shadow work, we start our personal hero's journey, confronting our challenges and discovering our rewards. As you move forward, the universe is here to help you grow and heal. Have faith in the journey, give yourself time, and stay receptive to the insights that come from within you. In the end, by accepting our shadows, we can fully embrace who we are. Lesson 12. Ways to let go of guilt, shame, and resentment. Feelings of guilt, shame, and resentment can have a big impact on our lives, affecting how we think, feel, and act. These strong negative feelings often hide below the surface, affecting our choices and relationships in ways we might not notice. As we start our journey of shadow work, we need to face these tough feelings directly. We can only step into the light of who we really are and reach our full potential by recognizing and letting go of these things. Guilt, shame, and resentment are like heavy weights that hold us back from our past, stopping us from moving on and enjoying the good things life has to give. They quietly undermine our dreams, creating doubts that prevent us from taking risks and following our passions. But the reality is that these emotions, no matter how strong or ingrained, do not define who we are. They are not fixed parts of who we are, but instead learned reactions based on our experiences and how we see things. To start letting go of these heavy feelings, we need to first know where they come from. Guilt usually comes from thinking we have done something wrong or haven't met certain expectations, either our own or those set by others. Shame affects us deeply, hitting at our self-worth and making us feel flawed or unworthy. Resentment is a lingering anger aimed at people or situations we think have treated us unfairly. The law of attraction shows us that we bring into our lives what we pay the most attention to. When we hold on to guilt, shame, and resentment, we unknowingly attract more situations that strengthen these negative feelings. It's a tough loop that feels hard to escape. We need to overcome these emotions because they hold back our personal growth and prevent positive energy and opportunities from coming into our lives. How can we start letting go of these negative feelings? Being aware is the first step. We need to look at the hidden parts of our minds, recognizing feelings of guilt, shame, and resentment without being critical. Recognizing our emotions can be very strong. It helps us step back and look at them without getting caught up in how we feel. After we recognize these feelings, we can begin to ask if they are true. Are the reasons behind our guilt really valid? Is the shame we experience based on a true understanding of our value, or is it a skewed view? Is our resentment helping us in any way, or is it just keeping us stuck in negativity? When we look closely at these emotions, we often see that they come from incorrect thinking or old beliefs that aren't helpful anymore. Forgiveness helps let go of guilt, shame, and resentment. This means forgiving others who have hurt us, and maybe even more importantly, forgiving ourselves. Forgiving ourselves can be tough because we often judge ourselves the hardest. It is important for recovery and progress. Forgiveness doesn't mean accepting bad behavior or ignoring past pain. It's a choice to let go of emotional weight and take back our strength. Being kind to yourself is a strong method to fight against these negative feelings. Be as kind and understanding to yourself as you would be to a close friend. Understand that making mistakes and facing challenges is a normal part of being human. Rather than criticizing yourself for what you've done in the past or what you think you lack, concentrate on learning and improving. Mindfulness and meditation can be very helpful in this process. When we learn to watch our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them, we can make room between ourselves and those negative emotions. This distance helps us handle tough situations more clearly and wisely, instead of reacting out of guilt, shame, or resentment. Changing how we view our experiences is a helpful way to let go of these emotions. Rather than seeing past mistakes or tough situations as things to be ashamed of or bitter about, look at them as chances to learn and grow as a person. Every challenge we encounter can help us become stronger, smarter, and kinder if we look at it the right way. Understand that letting go of guilt, shame, and resentment is not something you do just once. It's a continuous journey. These feelings can come back occasionally, especially when we deal with new challenges or run into reminders from our past. Recognize these feelings with kindness and understanding whenever they come up, gently guiding our attention back to more positive and uplifting thoughts. When we let go of negative emotions, we allow ourselves to explore new possibilities. When we let go of guilt, shame, and resentment, we can freely chase our dreams with new energy and confidence. We bring more good experiences and relationships into our lives, connecting with the energy of abundance and happiness. Your past actions and what others think of you do not define who you are. You are a being that can grow, change, and transform over time. When you release guilt, shame, and resentment, you take back control to shape your future and build the life you really want. In the big picture of life, these negative feelings are just short-lived parts. Your limitations do not define you or your potential. When you let go of them, you create room for fresh and lively experiences to be added to your life story. Enjoy this process of letting go with kindness and care for yourself. Believe in the journey, understanding that every step you take to release guilt, shame, and resentment brings you closer to a lighter, brighter, and more genuine you. The journey might be tough at times, but the freedom and peace waiting for you on the other side make it all worthwhile. As you go on, remember that real strength comes not from avoiding mistakes or never feeling pain, but from how we react to the challenges life brings. Release what doesn't help you anymore and confidently embrace your full potential. The universe is here to help you change, ready to show you the light and love that comes from inside you. Lesson 13. Forgiveness as a tool for healing shadows. Forgiveness is an important and changing action that is central to shadow work. It is the key that frees us from the feelings of resentment, anger, and pain that hold us back from our true selves. When we do shadow work, we come across parts of ourselves and others that we have judged, rejected, or tried to hide. Forgiveness helps us accept these parts with kindness and clarity, leading to healing and personal growth. Forgiveness in shadow work helps us change how we see things and lets go of the energy we use to hold onto anger and bad feelings. Forgiveness doesn't mean we accept bad actions or ignore our hurt. It means we decide to let go of the weight of that pain. Letting go opens up new opportunities and helps us get back the energy we've spent on holding onto our complaints. Forgiveness works in different ways when it comes to shadow work. First, there's self-forgiveness, the act of being kind and understanding towards ourselves for our flaws, mistakes, and shortcomings. Forgiving ourselves can be really tough because we are usually our own biggest critics. However, it is also the most important. When we forgive ourselves, we recognize that we are human. This helps us build a base of self-love and acceptance, which is important for embracing all parts of ourselves. Next, we have forgiveness of others, letting go of the resentment and anger we feel towards those who have caused us pain. This doesn't mean we ignore or justify harmful actions, but instead, we decide to release the emotional weight tied to past experiences. By doing this, we let go of the ongoing impact of these experiences and create a path for healing and growth. Lastly, there's a wider way to think about forgiveness, letting go of the difficulties, letdowns, and hurt that life has brought us. This kind of forgiveness means understanding that life has its highs and lows and deciding to fully embrace life even with its flaws. To use forgiveness in shadow work, we first need to be aware of where we are holding on to resentment, anger, or judgment. This usually needs some quiet thinking and truthful self-assessment. Once we find these areas, we can start the process of forgiveness using different methods. A helpful method is to write a forgiveness letter to yourself or someone else, sharing your feelings and then deciding to let them go. You don't have to send this letter. Just writing it can be very helpful for your feelings. Another way is to try forgiveness meditation. In this practice, you imagine the person you want to forgive, including yourself, and say phrases like "I forgive you" or "I release you" in your mind. Forgiveness takes time and is not something that happens just once. Forgiving someone, especially for serious hurts, might require trying several times and being patient. Every step you take towards forgiveness brings you closer to feeling free and complete. When we practice forgiveness, we often find that we are not just letting go of a specific action or person, but rather the pain we have been holding on to because of it. This understanding can be very freeing because it helps us concentrate on our inner feelings instead of outside situations, something we can control. Forgiveness in shadow work means understanding how all beings and experiences are connected. When we realize that everyone is trying their best with what they know at any moment, it becomes simpler to show compassion and forgiveness. This doesn't mean we agree with harmful actions, but it shows that we can recognize the humanity in others, even when they hurt us. When we practice forgiveness, we might see our judgments become gentler, for ourselves and for others. This gentle approach helps us look at our shadow sides with curiosity and kindness instead of fear and rejection. We start to realize that even our toughest traits can teach us something. By accepting them, we can blend them into a fuller version of who we are. Forgiveness in shadow work connects with the ideas of the law of attraction. When we let go of negative feelings and embrace acceptance and love, we change our energy vibration. This change helps us bring in more good experiences and relationships, leading to a positive cycle of healing and growth. Forgiveness helps us access the understanding that is hidden within our darker side. When we stop wasting energy on holding grudges or hiding parts of ourselves, we can reach deeper insights and intuition. This knowledge can help us find more genuine and satisfying ways to live in the world. As we continue with our shadow work and practice of forgiveness, we might notice that our ability to feel compassion grows. This compassion can extend beyond our own experiences to include a wider understanding of human suffering. This growth and awareness can create a deep feeling of connection with everything around us and a natural tendency to be kind and helpful. Forgiveness helps with shadow healing by choosing love instead of fear, connection rather than separation, and freedom over being trapped. It takes bravery to be open and strong. The benefits are great: feeling lighter, thinking more clearly, and having a better sense of who you are. As you move forward in your shadow work, forgiveness is always there for you. You can decide at any time to let go of the past and welcome new opportunities. When you forgive, you take back a part of who you truly are and get closer to reaching your full potential. Forgiveness is not only a way to heal, but also a route to personal change and spiritual development. Lesson 14. Bringing together your shadow for wholeness. In the process of getting to know ourselves better and growing as people, we reach an important point where we understand that real change happens when we accept every part of ourselves, even the parts we've tried to hide. Bringing together your shadow is not just about getting better. It is essential for reaching your full potential and living a genuine, powerful, and meaningful life. The shadow, according to Carl Jung, includes all the parts of ourselves that we have pushed away, ignored, or rejected. Parts of our personality often include traits we find unacceptable, weaknesses we feel ashamed of, or desires we are afraid to admit. Interestingly, it is in these shadows that we often discover our greatest strengths and deep wisdom. To start the integration process, we need to recognize that our shadow is not an enemy to defeat, but a misunderstood part of ourselves that seeks acceptance. The child inside us was told to be quiet, the creative spirit was held back, and the anger was never allowed to be expressed. When we approach these aspects with curiosity and kindness, we start a conversation with our entire self. This conversation can sometimes be awkward. It takes bravery to confront the parts of ourselves that we have been avoiding for a long time. By doing this, we let go of a lot of energy that we were using to hold back and ignore things. This new energy is ready for growth, creativity, and living authentically. When we embrace our shadow, we start to see a significant change in how we connect with others. The qualities we used to criticize in others often show parts of ourselves that we haven't recognized. When we embrace these traits, we become more empathetic and understanding towards others. As we grow, we start to attract relationships that show our complete selves. Integration shows us talents and skills we didn't know we had. The part of you that you think is too aggressive might actually be important for being assertive and a good leader. The sensitivity you tried to hide might actually be the root of your strongest intuition and empathy. When you accept these parts of yourself, you open up a source of potential that was previously hidden. A great way to help with this integration is by using active imagination. Look for a calm place where you can be alone. Close your eyes and picture your shadow as a separate being. How does it appear? What does it feel like? Talk to this part of yourself. Pay attention to its message without forming any opinions. This conversation might reveal some surprising wisdom and insights. Writing in a journal is another helpful method. Take some time each day to write openly, letting your thoughts and feelings come out onto the page without holding back. As time goes on, you will notice patterns and themes that provide hints about the parts of yourself that want to come together. While working with your shadow, you might face some pushback. This is normal and should be anticipated. Our ego often resists change to keep things the same, even when that change is good for us. Recognize this resistance with kindness, knowing it comes from a desire to protect oneself. Softly remind yourself that coming together brings more completeness and freedom. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in experiences that reflect our inner feelings. When we bring together our shadow, we increase our overall frequency. We now act from a feeling of completeness and self-acceptance, rather than from a mindset of lack or fear. This change in energy brings in experiences and opportunities that match who we really are. As you move forward on this journey of integration, you might notice that what you consider success starts to shift. Achievements on the outside are important, but they take a back seat to the inner peace and true self that you feel when you live authentically. You start to see your value not through what society says, but by how well you feel connected to your own goals and purpose. The process of shadow integration is still happening. It's not about reaching a specific place. It's an ongoing journey of learning about yourself and growing. Every time you reveal a part of yourself that was hidden, you increase your ability to love, create, and find joy. This work is not about being perfect. It's about accepting your human nature in all its details. As you bring together your shadow, you might notice that you feel more at ease with contradictions and uncertainty. It's possible to accept two different ideas at the same time, understanding that life often isn't just one way or the other. As you work on becoming complete, you shine as a guide for others. Being true to yourself allows others to accept their own flaws. Your healing and transformation can positively impact others in ways you may not realize. As you move forward, take care of yourself. Bringing everything together is a meaningful way to care for yourself. Appreciate every little progress you make, even if it feels minor. Believe in your mind's ability to lead you to completeness at a pace that suits you best. By accepting your shadow, you accept all aspects of life. You allow yourself to feel all kinds of emotions, from deep sadness to great happiness. Being open to experiencing everything is what gives life depth and significance. The aim is not to get rid of the shadow, because without shadow, there is no light. The goal is to dance with both, to discover the balance that lets you show all parts of yourself. This dance helps you find a sense of freedom and liveliness that belongs to you by nature. When you embrace your shadow, you show how to transform something heavy into something valuable. The parts of yourself that you used to dislike can turn into your biggest strengths. This is the real power of shadow work, turning what seems like a weakness into strong, lasting strength. Bringing together your shadow means returning to your true self. It's about taking back all the parts you've ignored and bringing them back together into the whole of who you are. In this completeness, you discover a strong feeling of calm, direction, and strength. You transform into not just who you believe you should be, but who you really are, a wonderful, complex person, able to show deep love, creativity, and make a difference in the world. Lesson 15. How shadow work reveals your true potential. Shadow work helps you discover your true potential by uncovering the hidden parts of your mind. It's a path of finding yourself that helps you face the parts of you that you've overlooked or kept hidden. The parts of your personality that you often overlook, known as your shadow, have a lot of power and potential waiting to be discovered. By accepting and including these hidden parts of yourself, you can tap into a source of creativity, strength, and wisdom that has been waiting inside you. The shadow holds all the traits, feelings, and wants that we consider unacceptable or not good enough to show. It's where we keep our fears, insecurities, and what we think are our weaknesses. Here's the interesting point. What we push away stays the same, and what we accept changes. When we approach our shadow with curiosity and kindness, we start to discover its benefits and use its strength for our personal growth and development. Picture a garden where only some flowers are allowed to grow, while others are regularly pulled out or overlooked. This garden would not be whole without all the colors and scents it can provide. When we ignore parts of ourselves, we restrict our ability to fully experience life. Shadow work helps us take care of every part of our inner self, even the parts we used to think were unimportant, and find their special value and meaning. Shadow work can be challenging and may not always feel pleasant. Facing the parts of ourselves that we've avoided takes bravery. It is through facing challenges that we discover our real power. Carl Jung, the founder of analytical psychology, stated, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Exploring the darker parts of our mind is what helps us reach our full potential. When we do shadow work, we start to notice patterns in our behavior that have held us back in cycles of self-sabotage or limitation. These patterns usually come from unresolved traumas or limiting beliefs that are deep in our subconscious mind. When we recognize these patterns, we can start to understand them better and find new, more positive ways to live. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in what we are rather than just what we desire. If we have unresolved issues, they will keep showing up in our lives, often in ways that go against what we really want. When we bring together our shadow, we connect our subconscious mind with our conscious goals. This creates a strong partnership that helps us achieve our true desires more easily and smoothly. Shadow work helps us tap into our creative abilities. Many times, our best ideas and inspirations arise from deep within us, from the parts we've overlooked or pushed aside. By expressing these aspects, we access a source of creativity that can enhance our artistic projects, help us solve problems, and inspire new ideas. Additionally, shadow work improves our emotional understanding and strengthens our ability to empathize and show compassion. When we learn to accept every part of ourselves, even those we used to judge or push away, we start to understand and accept others better. This greater empathy helps us build stronger, more genuine connections with others, enhancing our relationships and our overall life experience. Shadow work helps build resilience and inner strength. When we confront our fears and insecurities directly, we strengthen our emotional resilience, helping us handle life's challenges more smoothly. We react less to what happens around us and pay more attention to our inner wisdom and guidance. When we embrace our hidden sides, we feel a deep sense of completeness and true self. We don't have to wear masks or pretend anymore to be accepted. We can be our true selves, showing every part of who we are without fear or shame. This genuine quality draws in chances, connections, and experiences that match who we really are. Shadow work helps us discover our spiritual potential. Many spiritual traditions talk about the importance of going beyond opposites and accepting the oneness of everything. When we bring together our shadow, we start to break down the false lines between light and dark, good and bad inside us. This integration helps us see life in a more complete and balanced way, allowing for deeper spiritual insights and experiences. The process of shadow work never really ends. It's not just about getting to a final place. It's about always exploring and bringing together different parts of our mind. Every time we bring awareness to a part of ourselves that we didn't see before, we increase our ability to grow and understand who we are. As you start this journey of shadow work, it's about discovering yourself and embracing self-love. Take a gentle and curious approach. Be open to examining every part of yourself with kindness and understanding. Believe that even the parts of yourself that feel difficult or troubling hold important lessons and valuable insights. When you explore your true potential through shadow work, you can experience a life that is more fulfilling, genuine, and meaningful. You become a complete and unified version of yourself, able to share your unique gifts and talents with the world. This work changes your life and also helps those around you, making a positive difference in the overall growth of awareness. As you move forward in your journey of self-discovery and personal growth, keep in mind the importance of shadow work. It's the key that opens the door to your true potential, showing the valuable things inside your mind. Try this effective practice and see how your life changes in ways you didn't expect. Exploring the shadow might look challenging, but the benefits are huge. Your potential is waiting. Are you ready to discover it? Lesson 16. Facing self-sabotage and moving on. Deep within our minds is a strong force that can either push us toward our biggest dreams or stop us from reaching our true potential. This force is self-sabotage, a hidden part that many of us struggle with, but few really get. When we explore shadow work, facing and letting go of self-sabotage is not just an option. It's a crucial step for personal growth. Self-sabotage is a confusing aspect of how people act. It's the strange feeling that makes us hinder our own progress, putting obstacles in our way right when we're about to succeed. It's the voice that says you're not good enough when a chance comes. The hand that grabs comfort food when we're trying to be healthy. The urge to put things off when deadlines are near. Why do we put ourselves through this? Self-sabotage usually comes from our biggest fears and insecurities. It's a way we try to protect ourselves, even if it's not the best approach, coming from our hidden side. This part of us, formed by our past experiences and what we think we can or can't do, thinks that holding back our efforts will protect us from possible pain, rejection, or failure. It feels like there's a part of us that tries to hold us back, keeping us in a familiar place, even when that place isn't helping us grow anymore. To deal with self-sabotage, we need to recognize that it exists in our lives. This recognition needs clear honesty and a readiness to see deeper than just our actions. We need to think about our habits, especially the ones that often take us off track from what we want to achieve. Do you often begin projects but struggle to complete them? Do you look for reasons to end relationships when they start to get serious? Are you avoiding promotions or chances that could boost your career? These might be indications of self-sabotage happening at work. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in what we concentrate on and what we think we are worthy of. When we self-sabotage, we are indicating that we don't feel prepared or deserving of success. We're focusing on failure and stagnation instead of growth and achievement. This mismatch leads to a situation where our limiting beliefs are strengthened, keeping us stuck in patterns of not reaching our potential. Self-sabotage does not have to define your future. It's something we learn, and what we learn can also be unlearned. To overcome self-sabotage, the first thing you need to do is recognize it. Make it known and bring it to your attention. Identify it, recognize it, but avoid passing judgment on it. Your inner saboteur thinks it's keeping you safe. Look at it with curiosity instead of judgment. When you notice the patterns of self-sabotage in your life, take a moment to question them. When you want to undermine your progress, take a moment to stop and think. What am I scared of? What am I trying to keep myself safe from? Your self-sabotage is often driven by fears rooted in old beliefs or past experiences that aren't helpful anymore. A strong way to deal with self-sabotage is to talk to it. Think of your inner saboteur as a separate part of you and talk to it. What is it looking for? What is it saying to you? This practice can help you understand your fears and motivations better, so you can deal with them directly instead of letting them influence your actions without you realizing it. When you learn about your self-sabotaging habits, you can start to change how you see them. Rather than seeing them as weaknesses or big challenges, think of them as chances to grow and learn about yourself. Every time you self-sabotage, it's an opportunity to understand yourself better, to heal past hurts, and to bring your actions in line with what you really want. Overcoming self-sabotage takes steady work and time. It's about changing the neural pathways that have been built up over many years, maybe even decades. This process is about making new, positive beliefs to take the place of the limiting ones that cause self-sabotage. Affirmations can be a helpful tool for this purpose. Statements such as "I deserve success" or "I believe in my ability to face challenges" can help change your mindset and connect your energy with positive results. Another important part of overcoming self-sabotage is getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes we hold ourselves back to escape the unknown and the feelings of being exposed that come with growing and changing. By slowly facing these uncomfortable feelings and understanding that you can get through them, you strengthen your resilience and lessen the influence of your self-sabotaging urges. Forgiveness is an important part of this process too. Let go of the moments when you didn't allow yourself to move forward. Realize that you were trying your best with what you knew back then. Being kind to yourself makes it easier to change and grow, helping you to move on without being held back by past mistakes. As you focus on facing and letting go of self-sabotage, it's a process, not a final goal. There might be challenges as you go, times when familiar habits come back. When this happens, stay positive. Look at it as a chance to use your new skills, to renew your commitment to growth, and to enhance your understanding of yourself. Shadow work can really change your life for the better. When you bring together the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding or struggling with, you become more complete. The energy you used to spend on internal struggles can now be focused on your goals and dreams. You will feel more in tune with the natural flow of abundance and chances that come your way. Facing self-sabotage through shadow work is similar to unclogging a blocked pipe. When the blockage is gone, energy can move easily, bringing clarity, purpose, and new possibilities. You might find abilities and strengths you didn't realize you had, just because they were covered by self-doubt and fear. When you stop holding yourself back, you allow yourself to explore all the opportunities that life can bring. You work together with the universe, helping to create your reality instead of just accepting what comes your way. Changing how you see things and the energy you put out can bring significant improvements in many parts of your life, including your relationships, job, health, and personal development. The aim isn't to get rid of your shadow or to stop feeling self-doubt forever. Instead, it's about building a connection with every part of yourself, bringing them together in a way that benefits you the most. When you accept all parts of yourself, both the good and the bad, you unlock a source of inner knowledge and strength. In the big picture of your life, self-sabotage is just one part. When you face it, understand it, and then let it go, you allow yourself to create a more colorful and lively experience. You connect with the natural abundance around you, drawing in experiences and opportunities that match who you truly are. As you go through your shadow work, face the challenge of self-sabotage with bravery, kindness, and a desire to learn. Believe in the journey, as every step you take to understand and accept your shadow leads you to a more fulfilling and purposeful life. You have the ability to change your life inside you all along. Now, free from self-sabotage, you can tap into your power and embrace your full potential. Lesson 17. Transform your life with shadow work when other methods fail. If you've tried many things and nothing is working, it's a good idea to look inside yourself and understand your mind better. Shadow work helps you discover your true potential and brings about real change in your life. This practice helps you face and accept parts of yourself that you may have overlooked or hidden. By bringing these parts into your awareness, you can change them into strengths and insights. Shadow work is valuable because it helps us tackle the main reasons behind our challenges, instead of just dealing with the surface issues. It's a path to understanding yourself that brings deep healing and helps you grow as a person. When you accept your shadow, you're not just fixing small issues. You're really changing how you connect with yourself and everything around you. If you notice that you keep making the same mistakes or feel like you're always facing obstacles, it means it's time to pay attention to your inner struggles. These challenges are not things to get past, but chances to explore your own mind more deeply. They guide you to the areas of yourself that require healing and coming together. To start using shadow work to change your life, begin by being curious and kind to yourself. Explore your inner self with the same curiosity and openness you would have when visiting a new place. Every thought, feeling, and urge gives you a hint, helping you get to know the intricate fabric of your mind. As you start this journey, your shadow is not something to fear or get rid of. It's a key part of your identity, holding important resources and hidden possibilities. The purpose of shadow work is not to eliminate your shadow, but to align it with your conscious self, resulting in a more balanced and genuine whole. Self-inquiry is a very effective tool in shadow work. Think about this. What parts of me do I keep hidden from others? What qualities do I criticize the most in other people? What patterns or situations in my life frustrate me the most? These questions can help you understand your shadow better. As you discover these hidden parts of yourself, you might face some pushback. This is normal and should be anticipated. Your ego might try to distract you or persuade you that this work isn't needed, all in an effort to protect you. Overcome this resistance. Sometimes, when we face our biggest challenges, we discover our most important successes. Journaling is a very helpful tool in this process. Write openly and without criticism, letting your thoughts and feelings pour out onto the page. Notice any patterns, strong feelings, or memories that come up often. These clues point you to the parts of your shadow that are ready to be brought together. While you work on this, you might notice that some beliefs or habits that have limited you start to fade away. Things that used to cause strong emotional reactions might begin to feel less intense. This shows that you are integrating, becoming more complete and in tune with your true self. Shadow work isn't about being perfect or transforming into a different person. It's about accepting every part of yourself, even the ones you've ignored or turned away from. As you go through this process, you may discover that what you once viewed as weaknesses can turn into strengths when you understand and incorporate them correctly. This integration process can significantly impact all aspects of your life. Relationships tend to get better when you are more true to yourself and less quick to react. Career challenges can get better when you discover your hidden talents and break through the limits you set for yourself. You might find that your creativity grows as you tap into areas of yourself that were once closed off. One of the key benefits of shadow work is how it can change the way you relate to yourself. When you start to accept every part of yourself, you will find that self-love and self-acceptance come more easily. Your inner critic starts to ease up, giving way to a kinder and more understanding voice. Having more self-compassion doesn't mean you stop trying to grow or improve yourself. Instead, it gives you a strong base to chase your goals and dreams with more confidence and strength. When you stop fighting with yourself, you release a lot of energy that can be used for positive change and personal growth. As you move forward in your shadow work journey, you might notice that the way you see the world changes. The law of attraction shows us that we draw in experiences that reflect our inner feelings. As you heal and work on your shadow, you might see changes in your outside world that show this inner change. Opportunities that you couldn't see before might suddenly become clear. Relationships can grow stronger and more satisfying. You might notice that you are drawn to people and situations that help you grow and feel good. Take your time and keep at it when doing shadow work. This isn't something that can be solved quickly or just once. It's a continuous journey of learning about yourself and growing. Some days will be tough, and you might feel like you're making progress, but then slipping back a bit. This is all a part of the journey. Every challenge you encounter is a chance for greater healing and coming together. Final lesson: shadow work. As you keep working on this, you might notice that what you consider success starts to shift. As you find a true sense of inner peace and alignment, the importance of external markers of achievement may fade. You might feel a natural attraction to chasing goals that align with who you truly are, instead of those set by society or what others expect from you. The insights gained from shadow work are very valuable. When you learn to understand and accept every part of yourself, you gain a deep understanding of human nature. This advice can help you handle life's difficulties with ease and strength. You start to react less to what's happening around you and pay more attention to your own feelings and intuition. Shadow work is about enjoying the process of ongoing growth and learning about yourself, rather than aiming for a specific endpoint. As you remove each layer, you discover more to look into. Every insight we gain leads to more questions to think about. This continuous journey of discovery and connection makes life vibrant, significant, and full of opportunities. As you start this important journey of shadow work, have faith in the process. Believe that the answers you are looking for are already inside you, just waiting to be found. By facing your shadow with courage and kindness, you are opening the door to a more genuine, satisfying, and empowered life. People shadow work is about reconnecting with who you truly are. It's about getting back the parts of you that you may have lost or forgotten and bringing them back together to form a complete you. By doing this, you feel more complete, more vibrant, and more like yourself. From this place of being complete and genuine, real change is not just possible, but certain. When everything else fails, look inside yourself. Accept your darker side. Let it lead you to the healing and growth you want. Sometimes, in our toughest times, we find our greatest strengths, and in our deepest hurts, we discover what we are truly capable of. Doing shadow work can be challenging at times, but it is always rewarding. This is the way to real change, to living a life that is genuine, meaningful, and truly satisfying.